Welcome back to Elder Scrolls Online, everyone. My name is Kingdom, and today I'm bringing you my DragonKnight BOMB build. Try say that 3 times fast. Are you tired of diving into a fight, burning everything you've got to kill the first enemy, only to face the next guy at full health and resources while you're completely drained and about to die? Yeah, we've all been there. That frustrating 1v1 snowball where you win the first fight but lose the second because you have nothing left. Well, I'm about to change that with this build right here. Imagine charging into battle knowing you're gonna wipe multiple enemies in a chain reaction. Instead of those 1v1s, you drop into the chaos with real confidence, becoming a massive asset to your group and racking up satisfying multi-kills left and right. The best part is it still plays like you're focusing on one target at a time. No sneaky ganking, no running off to the farm to get NPCs for your ultimate. You brawl straight up and you let the explosions do the rest. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create your own DragonKnight BOMB. A setup with the power to drop entire groups, but one that brings back those nostalgic double kills, those triple kills, that pure chaos. Not only is this probably going to be the most fun you've had on any character you've created in ESO, you'll actually win fights and constantly want to share this build with your friends. And for the first time, we're diving deep into vicious death and how to run it without turning into a fragile glass cannon. Let's get into it.
I said whip it good. I said whip it good.
The best thing about this build probably is that you don't have to change your race. So you don't have to spend them crowns to get that token. I prefer to be a Khajiit so that I can get a little bit of crit damage and help out with that boom. But your attributes set up right, you should have enough resources and health to get you through. First thing we're starting with is the weapons, and we are going to be having 2 maces. We are going to be dual wielding, and they are going to be Vicious Death. They are both going to be sharpened, and they are going to have the decreased health enchants on them. We are going to have on our back bar a Rally Cry Ice Staff. This is just so that you have some sort of weapon that you can do a ranged attack with, especially in Cyrodiil when you are taking a resource and that guy is sitting up on the tower and you do not want to go in that tower to take that guy down. You can pump him full of light attacks and heavy attacks and drop him pretty easy without having to worry about going in there and getting ganked by some Nightblade hiding in the corner waiting for you to run in there. The armor that you're going to be rocking with, we're going to be going with Balorg for your monster set, and you want to pay attention to these weight levels so that you can get your distribution right. Your head is going to be medium. You're going to be using a max health enchant, and you're going to be putting M-Pen on. Your chest is going to be heavy. You are going to be one-piece trainee, and you are going to be using the max health enchant, and this is going to be reinforced. Your Balorg shoulder is going to be heavy. This is going to have a maximum health enchant. It's going to be reinforced, and if you would like to, you can make this piece medium, and you can make your head heavy. But if you make your head heavy, you want to make it reinforced. If you make your shoulder medium, you are going to want it in pen. Alright, just to get through that, now let's go to the rest of the armor. We are going to wear a Vicious Death waist, and you can put these in any order that you like as long as you get your 5-piece on your front bar and your 5-piece on your back bar, because these are light, so there's no other weight that you can do. You're forced to use the rest light with these 2 builds, or these 2 sets. Right now I have it set up to where I'm using my waist as Vicious Death. You're just going to want your enchants to be the same, and you want your traits to be the same. I have a max dam enchant on my waist. My hands are Rally Cry with a max Magicka enchant and N-Pen. I have a tri-stat for my legs, and I am also M-Pen, and that is Rally Cry. And for my feet, I have Rally Cry, Max Magicka Enchant, and M-Pen also. For my jewelry, I have the Vicious Death, and it is a stamina recovery with Bloodthirsty. For my ring, I have Vicious Death, and I am using the multi-effect enchant that gives you weapon damage and stamina recovery. And it is infused. And for my mythic, I am using Monomyth Reforged. I have the multi-effect the same as my first ring and infused. So you want to get that weapon damage and that magic recovery rather than that other enchantment which does stamina recovery. These little things I had to mix around because stamina and Magicka are both being used within this build in this set, so that's where we are for those. We are going to go into the skills and see what we can have you get with those. Now for them attribute points, you can see where I have 25k Magicka, the 35k health, and my stamina is at 19k. What you want to do to get there is you want to make sure that you have 15k stamina. You want to make sure that you have 30k health, and then you want to put everything else into Magicka. You want to make sure that you do this without food. I'm showing you the numbers right now with food. Without food, these numbers should work out, and the food you are going to use is a sugar skull. So once you eat that sugar skull, you will notice that you will get practically the same numbers, if not better than mine or similar to mine. This should be plenty for what you need with this build. I am using the Shadow Mundus Stone to get a little bit of extra crit damage, because you will see once we hit our Balorgs, our numbers are going to jump way up there, allowing anything after that to pretty much be eliminated. So let's go to the guild house. Shout out to the runic order, and let me show you those numbers. On our front bar, we are running Burning Embers, Disintegrating Dragonfire, Soul of Flame, and Molten Whip. And our heal on our front bar is going to be Blood of the Elder Dragon. I like to use this because you do get major fortitude and minor courage, and it gives you that weapon and spell damage bonus on there. So remember to use this just as much as a buff as you would use it as a heal. And your ultimate, of course, is going to be Ferocious Leap. On your back bar, you are going to be using Corrosive. This is so that if you get overwhelmed by a big group and you have it, you can pop it, and hopefully that Corrosive will take down one person and pop everyone around you. It is very good to use in sticky situations. I say that it's for sticky situations because compared to the Dragon Leap, it is expensive. So you're going to be using the Dragon Leap more often, trying to get those double and triples kills more than you realize that you're actually using Corrosive. You're going to be having Resolving Vigor. You're going to be using Earth Shield Mantle. You can use the spikes if you want, but I like to use this so that you have more tank ability. You're going to be using Incinerate. You want to use Incinerate. This is that boom. This is that passive boom that will drop somebody and will go off at the same time you use your whip or your Dragon Leap. If you get the rotation right, there's nothing you can do except expect that boom to happen within the rotation. As long as you buff up and use the rotation, it should time out perfect. It's pretty easy. You're going to be using the igneous weapons, and you have a free slot right here, your flex slot. You can put whatever you want here. I choose to put the wings, the fleeting wings, because I like to be a little bit more speedy. I like to run around, and when someone is holding you, it helps you be able to, get out of those situations where people like to lock you down. Let's get into those champion points so that we can get through this build, and then after that I will explain to you the attributes and why it doesn't matter what race you are. For those champion points, we are going to be using Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, Ironclad, and Duelist Rebuff. I figured out that these work the best for me, so this is what I'm going to use. You can change them if you want, but this is what I use when it comes to the BGs. Now, when you're going into Cyrodiil and you are going to have your champion points, because those do matter, you can decide what you want when it comes to things, but either Ironclad or Duelist Rebuff you can replace with here it is, the Occult Overload. That's what I do when I go into Cyrodiil. I will replace that. And after this video, I am probably going to put that on and go into Cyrodiil. But yeah, that's what you want to have. You want to change one of the duelist rebuffs and everything. I have it set up the way I have it set up, you know, for running around PvEing and this festival that's going on, because we do have the Jubilee Festival right now, and I've been sitting next to a world boss and pretty much farming those boxes. If you're not farming those boxes, you probably should. They're really good right now, and I think that we only have a few days left. And make sure you eat that cake every day to get your what is it, the 300 trade bars. So that's pretty important. The red tree, I use Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, Fortified, and Boundless Vitality. These help me out, get me through. You'll end up noticing it once you get into a battle. And as for your green tree, it doesn't really matter. You put in what you want to put into your green tree, but make sure that you have those what is it called? The one that makes it so that your food lasts longer, the one that makes it so that your potions are shorter cooldown, or I think they make it so that you might have a chance to use a second potion in a row, so you don't consume the first one. There's stuff like that. It's pretty much to make it so that your resources are more beneficial to you. So that's where I will put your green tree. Let's get into those attributes. Alright, you want to make sure that you have your ultimate, and you want to look at a dummy. And I don't know if anybody's done this, but first thing you should do before you do this is you go over to your character, so that the first thing that you can do is you can pop up your character sheet. And if you scroll down, you can see you can get to your shadow, Mundus, and it'll show your Mundus right there. So you go to stamina, and you leave it there so that when you pop in here, it's still on stamina, and then you can just look at it, hit the down button on your D-pad, and you can see what your crit damage is. So then you go to stamina, hit the B button, back out. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna buff our character all the way up. We're gonna make sure that we hit that health. We're gonna get in combat. We're gonna dragon leap. We're gonna character, and these are your numbers right here, right now. This is what you're dealing with, and this is your crit damage. And if you notice in the background, you got a couple explosions going. You don't have much time, but you do have a great window for you to do constant damage in order to get that kill, to watch these people pop. That is what you're looking for. As far as it comes to the rotation, it is very simple. You just use 3 abilities, and you get that whip. See that whip right there? That did not do it, right? But you want to rotate your 3 abilities, and there it is. 3 abilities. If you make them different abilities, it will hit every single time. I'm using the Solar Flame, the Burning Embers, and the Dragonfire as my 3. If you're doing it on a dummy, sometimes the dummies don't activate, but once you get that first blinking whip, you use that whip, Solar Flame, your breath, your embers, your whip, Solar Flame, your breath, your embers, your whip. You can do it over and over and over, and you can see the numbers that were popping above the head of that dummy to explain it for yourself. Those are PvP numbers, but those numbers are still, those are PvE numbers, but those numbers are still, with the reduction, going to hit your opponent hard as heck. I hope that you enjoyed this build, and I hope that y'all follow, subscribe, or whatever it is, and like and comment and let me know what your feedbacks are. But I'll try and create something else.